say it is easier to win. No, when you say it is easier to win, it means that
rich than the poor.
Now,
yes or no?
The poor will not even have the money to hire a lawyer.
That's
at the court of first. Wait a minute. And then the rich, because of the lacunas in our criminal justice procedures, can proceed as many times as possible on interlocutory appeals, whereas the substantive matter is still waiting.
So what hope does Nigeria has to fight
the system? We are not talking about manipulating the system. Now, if you are really keen fighting corruption, and if your grouse is that criminal proceedings last longer than expected, the question you should ask yourself is this: do what we did for election petitions, reducing and putting a time frame within which you have to conclude all election petitions.
Whose responsibility is that?
That is the responsibility of the legislature and the executive. It is either the legislature come up with a bill, but something has to be done.
Let me tell you this. You see, the Bible, I'm a Christian and permit me to go this direction. The Bible says money is the root of all evil.
That's right.
The same Bible says money answereth all. We shouldn't overlook the importance of money in the society, in everything. Now, how does would have good books, law books, or would have research books and materials that he or she can easily access the latest law, the latest case laws. Only has his brain, but may not be aware of the latest decisions of the Supreme Court, may not be aware of the latest procedures in criminal justice, may not be aware of the latest cases that have access to the latest cases and can employ brilliant assistants, can employ brilliant teams that can search the law and bring out the law. It is not. He has stolen.
What happens when the federal government is the one accusing an individual? Are we saying that the federal government also, at some point, did not have the kind of money to pay?
Let me tell you, of course, it's possible. Hold on, sir. It's possible. Do you know how much 5 million, 10 million? It's not that it is not big money. It's not that it's not big money. The government on its own may not have done the appropriate investigation efforts and processes that they. These are part and parcel of the process.
It's all right. We'll get back to all of this. Let's read some more messages. This is from IJ from Benin. Good afternoon to you, or good evening. I do not believe in the fight against corruption that is lopsided and meant to stifle political opponents who automatically become saints when they defect to the ruling party. Many who make up APC leadership to their party.
No, in the states. What about the states? You see, this whistleblowing act that we are talking about, we are now jumping. A time will come when state governments would oppose it, that you can keep it in Abuja.
Don't bring it here.
Yes, don't bring it here. And that's what's happening. So we have 36 other platforms.
I get you. Ododo Michael Moses from Lokoja. I want to disagree with the young man who's looking at the limitation to the passage of the bill. The court is there to let us know the wrong or right blowing. Let's get white pap from the black pot. The passage of this bill needs Nigerian encouragement. All right. I think I'm the youngest guy on this panel.
And ambience of this particular bill.
Okay.
Because issues of national security cannot be divulged. All right? So that it is not as if you can blow every whistle.
That's right.
But when it comes to impropriety, financial impropriety, either as a result of infractions of regulation, financial of funds or misappropriation, then you can bring it to the fore. Not that you can blow a whistle to disclose national security issues.
Right.
That was why I said we need to lay down the ambit of this particular.
All right, so this viewer says the so-called
attack that right away. You see, the one of government policy now from the Federal Ministry of Finance is restricted to financial impropriety. That's why they're saying your whistleblowing leads to recovery, you're getting 5%. But this act, act extends, if you read it clearly, a good bill that we must all give our support. And if presently what the Senate has passed we still have misgivings or reasons to say it needs to expand. Then we also raise some of these points.
Know that the police, for instance, has the PCRC, Police Complaint Response Unit, where you can, you know,
and don't forget,
blow your whistle.
Yes, don't forget, we've always had whistle blowing in our laws.
Exactly.
We have always had it. We have the Asian provocateur. You know who the Asian provocateur who is? The person who pretends to be part of the criminals and commit.
It is a very welcome development. Even anyone who gives a wrong information will be severely punished.
That's right.
I'm in support of the bill. Thank you for your contribution. Now, Ereta Oribabo from Lagos says whistleblowing started on the wrong footing without a bill or a law.
Absolutely.
Why are we
Absolutely.
always putting the cat before the horse? Now, that brings me
Very
to
correct.
the next question. We have instances where people from the Ministry of Aviation, Women Development, when we have it assented by the executive, do we see a possible recall of this personnel?
I cannot say whether there is going to be a possible recall.
Is there provision for them under the law?
Now, under the law, there must be protection. Because you have to protect. You don't have to retire him. You don't have to dismiss him, sack him, or because of that, deny him a promotion. But for me, I think the essence of whistleblowing protection should be to, as much as possible, from being punished. When you take into cognizance the kind of system that we operate. So, if you look at that act, no, if you look at that bill that has just been passed, it makes provisions to protect the whistleblower.
Addressing it. The person is asking, you are asking those people who were sacked for purposes of whistleblowing just before this bill is made into law, can they be affected?
There was no legal framework.
My answer is simply no.
No.
Constitutionally, section 36, subsection, talking about being released from an offense that was not an offense as at the time it was made. It was
so
committed.
Prior to this time, was it an offense for them to have blown the whistle?
No, prior to that, this time, maybe what informed their being sacked Act cannot operate behind, cannot operate retrogressively and retroactively to protect them. That is the point we are making. That the fact that you have been punished prior to a law will not operate to such an extent as to free you from your punishment futuristic situation.
It cannot operate retroactively.
Someone wants to know if he can blow the whistle on his employer.
Yes.
Is the whistle blowing in private establishments like
absolutely,
absolutely.
That is the origin.
Employee, employer, worker, whatsoever. In fact, an employee can blow
on an unwilling employer. You can't force a willing employee on an unwilling employer. But under the Whistleblowers Act, the unwilling employer will be forced to swallow the willing employee just for the reason that he whistleblew.
Okay, if we talk of whistleblowers or whistleblowing, I have to wait a bit, right?
There's no law.
There's no law as at now.
It's not a law.
It's not a law. There's no law as at now.
So that means whistleblowing as it is not encouraged in this part of the world. As
for now, yes.
It is an offense.
I would not like to use
punishable under law.
I would not like to use the word encouraged. I think the point out and say, look, under this act, I have this right, I have this privilege, I am entitled to this, and if I do this, the law protects me.
So for now, that means that even where you whistleblow and you get your 5%, your employer can
fire you.
That's right. Suspension is an indictment on the Senate. All right. You seem to
that
have
is why that is mounting or is substantive. The institution would run appropriately.
It cannot.
Statement I said the monetary consideration should not be the motivating factor. That was where he went wrong. It should be national interest. Because what you are saying is that if I see certain regulations or procedures being infracted, but then there is no system, I'm putting certain checks in place. But I may keep quiet because there is no monetary gain. That's why I said we should de-emphasize the monetary aspect of it.
What's your opinion about this? I mean, given the situation we find ourselves in this part of the world, there is a percent of whatever money that you have seen stolen. Do What's the place of this 5% in the scheme of things?
I think it's an encouraging incentive. In the United States law, the Whistleblowers Act that has just been reviewed in 2010, it was first enacted in 1989 2010. Now, financial misappropriation.
That's right.
But the thing is that you have to back it by law. So, financial inducement to help to achieve whistleblowing results, I think, to me, it's good. You see, we can use an example. If you, when you line corn, line it up, and you even perhaps line it into a trap, they would eat, and fall into that trap. That is an analogy that would help us know that if it back on, even after they may have been sacked. But with the law itself, they will not be sacked. But for now, they may be sacked and lawfully being sacked, so they can fall back on that 5%. So I think that 5% incentive is good. We are putting action before putting legislation behind it. There ought to have been a legislation behind it before the action, because everything, somebody can actually